try so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back in.
As you can see,
I can see.
It's three of us. Yo,
That's
what
a-
it do? It's your boys, Juice and Lou. We back here with another banger, man. Face before. So that means you know
NFL expert.
That means
Yes,
you know what
sir.
we're here to talk about, man.
You
The
already
one and
know.
only Austin, man. So we're here to
What's good with
talk
y'all?
about the NFL draft. But before we get into that, Nets, man. Soldiers really got the brooms on y'all, man. That's crazy.
It's crazy. We really
Celtics
smoking that
really
Nets
got
pack.
the brooms on y'all. That's crazy. I
That
thought
Nets
at
pack
least
was
go to
hitting
7
last night,
games.
bro.
I thought at least 7 games. I don't know, Jalen, KD, that's your boy, man. What happened? What happened to your boy, bro?
Hey,
He
the
was
number
going
one
stupid.
defense, number one offense rating since the All-Star break. I mean, they're clearly the better team. I mean, what you want them to do? I mean, there's only a couple players who's winning that series, and they got to be physically gifted, and that's LeBron and Giannis.
That's tough, man. That's tough, man. Well, hey, we were going to get into Ben Simmons, but that's a story for another time. So, without further ado, J. Lou, let's go ahead. Let's hop into it.
Sir. Thank you, Austin. Coming back again for the mock draft
You already
NFL
know.
2022 edition. We got a lot of questions today. We're not going to spend a lot of time because time is of the essence. And draft is 2 days away. And the first thing, obviously, we all want to know from you, Austin, who will go number one and what team will pick them. Obviously, Jazz got number one, but any movement with the Jags moving down?
So no, I don't think the Jags are actually going to end up moving down. If I was the Jags, I would definitely be fielding calls for trades for the first pick. But see, within the Jags front office, there's two sides right now. There's the GM Trent Balk, who wants to go with Trayvon Walker, and then the owner Shad Khan wants to go with Aiden Hutchinson. So it's going to be one of those two. Which one? It's more than likely going to be Hutchinson, solely because if you're the owner, you get what you want over anybody else. So I definitely see it being Aiden Hutchinson. Now, personally, if I had to make the pick at one, I'm still taking Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he's still undisputed the best player in this draft class, let alone defensive end. But it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson, and I think the Jags are going to regret it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jags should go Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, they could move down. The only team I was telling them before the podcast that I would see trade with them is maybe the Giants, because you get the 5th pick and the 7th if they're willing to do that. But I don't think they are, obviously for money reasons, paying a lot more money for the first round, the first pick in the draft. So I think Jazz gonna go Aiden Hutchinson, even though Trayvon Walker has been getting a lot of noise lately as being more versatile than Aiden. So we'll see what the Jags do there, but I still like Aiden going number one.
Yeah, it's a close call between Aiden and Kayvon, but yeah, I think Aiden gets the edge just because he probably fit with Jacksonville more. Possibly. I mean, but it could go either way. But yeah, I gotta go Aiden as well. So yeah.
All right. Quick little first pick predictions. Moving on, we got to talk about the quarterbacks. Now, there's clearly 5 pretty good quarterbacks who can start in this league, hopefully one day. But we want to know who we think will be the best out of the 5 in the next 3 to 5 years. Who will have the opportunity? You can go ahead, Austin.
So I have a very poor outlook on most of these quarterbacks in this draft. If I had to pick one who I think is going to be the best in 5 years' time, I'm going to pick Matt Corral from Ole Miss. He's pretty much, I like to describe him as Jalen Hurts with a very good arm and can actually read a defense. And if Jalen Hurts could do that, he would be a very, very good quarterback. But I think every quarterback in this draft class, with the exception of Carson Strong, it should not be a first-round talent. Malik Willis is best. I mean, he's got an arm, don't get me wrong, and he can definitely run like hell. But I just don't see anything special about him. I don't see any traits that really show me this guy's going to be a star for wherever he goes. So my bold prediction, aside from Matt Corral being, like, if I had to pick one, I don't think any quarterback drafted in the first round of this draft will be starting in 5
years. Very bold prediction.
That's tough.
As on the board, we do have Malik going in the first round, as well as possibly Kenny Pickett. So we'll see what they go later. That's what it's sounding like. There's a lot of teams who could still use a quarterback. Pittsburgh is definitely rumored. You still have Seattle, the Saints. Those three teams are the most teams rumored, and maybe the Falcons. So we'll see what goes on there. What about you, Justin?
I was gonna actually say the same thing because I'm looking at mock drafts. As he said, the Steelers may be looking for a quarterback, may look at Matt Corral or Malik Willis. But honestly, I think if Pittsburgh gets a quarterback, whatever quarterback goes there will be the best one. Just because the team success, like the team talent around him. You got Claypool over there. You got James Washington. James Washington.
He's still there for it now.
Yeah, and you got what's his name?
Deontay Johnson.
What I'm talking about. Deontay Johnson. You got him. You got Najee.
Actually, I forgot. James Washington's not on the Steelers right now. He signed with somebody. I can't remember who it was.
Oh no, he did. I think he did go. He did go. But you have talented receivers. You got Najee in the backfield. If the Steelers O-line has always been a problem. If they can get their O-line straight, I think whatever quarterback they choose is going to be solid for them. It's going to be the best one out of the rest of them.
Okay. For me, answer the question, 5-year time of the quarterbacks, we spoke on Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, obviously, and you talked about Carson Strong a little bit. I think an underrated one is Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. I kind of really like this guy. I think he was undefeated in college at home in his 2 to 3 year span there, and he has a great talented arm. He's been voiced as a leader in the locker room as well. So I think him going forward under a quarterback that who can groom and get them better throughout the 5 years. I see a lot of projections him going to the Titans. Now, obviously, Ryan Tannehill will start for the next 2 to 3 years with that big contract they got for him. So I think by that time his contract's up, I think Desmond can fit that role pretty good. Hopefully the Titans will still be competitive by then. Who knows what happens by 5 years. But I would like to see him play in Tennessee. I think that would be definitely interesting for him. That's who I got possibly being the best out of this draft for these quarterbacks. Now, moving forward, this is not for any position. I think this is just for any player, honestly. And it's who do y'all think will have an immediate impact with their new team? Like we saw Micah Parsons had a big jump this year. And who else? Najee. We talked about Najee a little bit. He was a big help for the Steelers. Who do y'all think on either side of the ball will have an immediate impact? Go ahead, Austin.
Sauce Gardner. It's Sauce Gardner. This guy's the best cornerback prospect I've ever seen in my life. He never allowed a single touchdown his entire time in college at Cincinnati. And I don't think – now, obviously, he's going to let up touchdowns in the NFL. You can't just be that good of a cornerback in the NFL and never let up a touchdown. But if Gardner goes to the right team, and by right team, I think the best fit for him is the Jets, believe it or not. If he goes to the right team, especially if it's the Jets, he's going to be the instant number one corner there. He's going to be able to lock down corner or wide receiver ones on opposing teams. and he's going to help the Jets defense, at least the passing defense overall, become. I'd say he can transform their passing defense into top 10 in the league by him being there alone. I am so high on Gardner. I would even contemplate taking the man number 1.
That's big praise for Sauce Gardner.
That is
Go
tough.
ahead, Justin.
See, now Sauce Gardner is really good because he gives me that. He gives me that Deion Sanders.
He's got that
Deion
dog in him.
Sanders vibe. Yeah, he got that. He got that. Yeah. So I'd probably have to say. I'd say Sauce is second though. He's second. I think he's wherever he go, he's gonna be good. And I'm hearing, whatchamacallit. I'd say Kavon. I think Kavon goes because I'm hearing he really likes the Giants. He really likes the Giants. So I think he can make an impact, not like a Michael Parsons impact though, because Michael Parsons, he came in, like you would have thought he'd been in the league. But I think Kavon will go to the Giants and make a huge leap first year. Just because their division isn't that amazing. But it could be, I mean, maybe the next year is going to be better. It's going to be better because your Eagles are coming up. You got the Cowboys, but I don't know how I feel about the Cowboys. And then you got the new Commanders. So, but yeah, I honestly think Kavon is going to make that leap. I think he may be my defensive rookie of the year, honestly.
Yeah. For me, Sauce Gardner definitely up there. I like that. Kavon definitely NFL body ready for sure. I have two people probably. I'm not really going to talk about the second guy. I think second, an underrated one is Jordan Davis, just because, like I said, he has the NFL body built ready. He's already ready physically as an athlete. I think for him is getting more consistent play from first down, second down, third down. Obviously, that does with stamina, which I think will work on throughout his career. But the guy I really have high hopes for is Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. I think he's a sleeper pick for a lot of teams. He's a quality safety. I mean, he's compared to Ed Reed right now. So he's not the fastest. That's what I've been hearing. But he can definitely get in the great spaces. He can patrol deep center of the field. And as well can change directions with the best of the game. But I think this also falls with the team. There's a lot of speculation. He's been moving up and down draft boards because of not having the fastest 40s at a 4.5 and like a 4.7 on his pro day. So I see him falling probably out the top 10 into rounds, like into the secondary of the Vikings. I think that would be big for them. They struggled last year tremendously in the secondary, and Harrison Smith's getting old back there. I think that would be a good help learning from him. So I would like to see him probably fall to Minnesota, which I think will happen. And moving forward now, but this is kind of a personal question for Austin. We all know you're an Eagles fan. I mean, y'all have two picks, 15 and 18. Who do you feel like should y'all draft at those spots?
So there's about a million things I could see happening with the Eagles in this draft. I think the most likely scenario is we end up trading up a few picks for somebody, and then we either stay at 18 or trade back from 18 to acquire more second-round assets. But I think in the world where we trade up, and it's not unless it's something crazy to where we trade up to like the 6th pick, assuming Gardner falls to the 6th, I could see us trading up with the Panthers for that. But if we stayed at 15 and 18, I think Jameson Williams, you go at 15 if he falls. He is by far my favorite receiver in this draft. He had the ACL injury last year, which is unfortunate, so he's going to slip a bit. I think if it wasn't for that, he would be top 5. You could argue he'd be top 5 in this draft. And then at 18, Jordan Davis. I would be fine taking Jordan Davis at 15 as Jameson Williams was gone and taking a receiver at 18. because Jordan Davis, he could learn for a year under Fletcher Cox. This is probably Cox's last year, and I could see honestly in the NFL, he may retire after this year. I could see, but if he got to learn under Fletcher Cox for a year, come in and then be that immediate starting defensive tackle in 2 seasons from now, alongside either, if we still have Javon Hargrave at the time, that'll be a crazy duo, or we pair him with Milton Williams for the future up there in the front. That would be more than ecstatic for me. And as long as we don't draft George Karlaftis, I will be 100% okay with whoever we take.
Okay. And Justin, obviously, Baltimore had a rough year, dealt with a lot of injuries, missed the playoffs ultimately, and y'all have the 14th pick. Who should y'all take?
See, I've heard a lot of people say go wide receiver. I'm like, no. I like Bateman. I really like Bateman, actually. Hollywood just had 1,000 yards. Mark Andrews just had 1,000 yards. We got depth there. I think we good where we at.
No more Sammy Watkins.
Offensive. Hey, I'm good off that. Trust me, I'm good off that. I was, man, y'all already know how I feel about that. But people say go offensive line. I'm like, Villanueva just retired, so maybe in later rounds. I think this first pick that we need to get a corner. We need to get a corner, and that corner that we need to get Derek Stingley Jr. Just because we got Marlon, we got Marcus. Marcus just turned 30. So, and I think that's his second ACL injury, I believe. So that's going to be tough. Anthony Averett just left. Tavon Young just left. Who else is there? We traded a corner last year to the Patriots. Who else is there? I don't know. Adding Derek Stingley to be at that third string, and Marcus Peters, I don't know. We may not let him go or trade him.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Marlon.
Marcus Peters is, because we just paid Marlon, but Marlon well deserved. But Marcus Peters, he's getting up there in age. The injury may be a problem. I don't know. Maybe we look to trade him. But Derek Stingley, I think we should get to fill up a spot at our cornerbacks, because we were the worst passing defense last year, or to me it felt like if we were winning a game, or if I saw somebody go deep, I already knew it was a catch. That's how bad our corners were last year. I already knew. I saw T. Higgins catch a ball on three of our corners last year. I was like, yeah, nah. So Derek Stingley Jr., that's my pick.
Okay, yeah. Touch on the Eagles for me. I do like Jordan Davis. I think he will fall to y'all. Wideout as well. I mean, there's so much. I feel like, y'all have good offensive line play. Obviously, don't need a quarterback right at this moment, and you don't really need much outside of what you bought of defensive line help. So I do like Jordan Davis there. And then with Baltimore, y'all, I see. I don't know if Derek will fall that far. He is projected 10, especially if Sauce Gardner goes to the Giants. I think Derek definitely will be taken by 14. And so for y'all, I feel like y'all will go D-line here. And it would probably be Jermaine Johnson, who's being compared to Montez Sweat, one of the fastest players in the NFL, actually, at the line. And Jermaine Johnson, he obviously from Florida State. He's tall and long, obviously being compared to Montez Sweat. And, of course, being able to go off the edge. I think y'all lack a lot of pass rushing. Y'all would blitz a lot, but sometimes when you blitz, you also give up a lot of yards doing that. So being able to blitz with 4 would be very impactful for y'all, especially coming back with Marcus Peters and Marlon next year healthy. I think that will help the corners situation even better. So I think y'all should go line here for Baltimore. Moving on to the next question. This is the one. This is the player in the draft who, maybe sleeping on. People were sleeping on. Got him way too low. There's been talk, like Austin brought up Jameson Williams with the ACL. But is there any other players y'all feel like is being slept on way too long? Go ahead, Austin.
George Pickens, receiver out of Georgia. He, if it wasn't for Jameson Williams, would be the best receiver in this draft. He is big, he's long, he's athletic, and he's got some fairly decent speed for somebody who's 6'4". And like we were talking about with Gardner, he's got that dog in him, There was some off-the-field concerns with his attitude, much like there was with Micah Parsons last year. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be an issue yet. And George Pickens is somebody I could see going in the first round, actually. It's something like the Packers or the Chiefs. And whoever picks him is going to get a very, very good player that's going to be a cornerstone of that receiving core for the next at least 5 years.
All right, go ahead, Justin.
So, like Austin said, and you brought up Jameson Williams. My pick is Jameson Williams going. You said you think you guys gonna take him at 18,
15.
Like you said, that's or 15. That's tough, bro. Because as a Bama, I don't want to be biased, but as a Bama, that's my boy. And seeing what he was doing, bro, he could have been, like you said before, he could have been top 10, maybe top 5, maybe. That's how good he was. So, on the 18, I get injuries can play a part, but maybe like a few picks. I don't know because I don't know. I've seen people get, injuries like that and come back and be, not the same, but still produce like value and get stats for you to do what they're supposed to do. So Jameson at 15 or 18 is just, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's my pick.
Okay. I'm going to go with a trench player here. Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. He's a junior. And honestly, people really don't like him athletically because his arms are small for an offensive lineman. But I feel like one day he could be all-pro type lineman. He's very athletic, who can get to his combo blocks very quick. And at Iowa, he only allowed 1 sack last year and won Best Center Award. I think the Giants should look into getting him. Obviously, there has been talks in the second round if he falls that far due to being a little smaller than usual for a center. But he's definitely athletic enough to go farther through the blocks. I think the Giants would benefit big time, obviously, with the offensive line. If the Steelers also don't go quarterback, I think they should go with Tyler here at pick 20. I think that would be great for our offensive line and Najee. So I think he's underrated as well. Just switch it up, a trench player, someone who usually doesn't get a lot of looks. So I think Tyler is being slept on a little bit.
He's got the same build as Jason Kelce.
Yeah, I did see that comparison a lot. And Jason Kelce, all pro. So who knows what will happen. And moving forward, obviously, speaking of the future, Rookie of the Years. Obviously, this past year, it was Micah and Jamar Chase for offense and defense. I had Micah winning last year. I forgot who y'all two had. I had Trevor Lawrence offense, but he didn't play too good. So, who do y'all think will be this year's offensive player and defensive player of the year? Starting with Slacky.
So, I have 2 answers for rookie for offense. One is Jameson Williams, and that's if any other team but the Eagles draft Jameson Williams, he will win Rookie of the Year for offense. The reason I say that is because if we draft him, he's not going to get the same production to start as he would with any other team because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can't utilize a deep ball very well, and that's what his Williams' biggest strength is. So if he goes to the Eagles, I don't think it'll be Jameson Williams. If he doesn't, I say Jameson Williams. If we do get him, who would be in place of that? I think it's going to be Ike Ekwonu, whatever team he goes to. I think he's the best tackle in the draft, and he could really bolster any offensive line that he goes to. And, I know the O-line doesn't get a lot of love from voters and whoever decides that, but I think he can be that cornerstone franchise tackle that'll make people look his way, sort of like Quentin Nelson made everybody do with his play. And then defensive, it's got to be Kayvon Thibodeau. I know I'm very high on Sauce, but even if he plays amazing, I just don't think they'll ever give that award to a corner over a defensive end. Sort of like MVP and stuff like that. It's always going to go to the quarterback. I feel like Defensive Rookie of the Year always goes to a defensive lineman of some sort. So I think it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau solely because I think he's the best defensive lineman in this draft. And whatever team he goes to, whether it's the Texans, the Jets, if he falls and goes to the Giants or even falls farther, I think he's going to – bold prediction, I think he finishes the season with at least 12 sacks.
Very bold. Go ahead, Juice.
See, defensively, I already said Kayvon. I think Kayvon is that talented. But offensively, this is tough. I think I go another wide receiver to win it. I think Drake London. Gets it. Just because he has the size, he has the athleticism, and he's a really good route runner. So wherever you place him at, I feel like he could be a number one receiver straight right then and there off day one. Now it's gonna be hard to get the stats that Jamar Chase had because that's just crazy. 1,413 touchdowns is crazy. But I think with the lack of offensive, because this draft ain't really that, wow. So, or offensively speaking. So I'd say either him or Jameson to get that. I think Jameson would be runner up though. But they both neck and neck though for me.
Yeah, I agree with Justin on offense for Drake London, unless he gets drafted by Washington. I do not trust any quarterback throwing them the ball over there. So anybody besides Washington, I think he goes to the Jets though. I think that would be a good fit. Him and Zach Wilson get some chemistry together with Elijah Moore. They got a young, talented roster coming this way, so I think him and Zach Wilson would be a great pairing. And defensively, I'm going Trayvon Walker. I mean, we saw Micah Parsons, that athletic freak of nature, win Defensive Player of the Year. And main reason was because he's versatile. And they're saying the same thing about Trayvon Walker being one of the most versatile players in this draft. Can hop off the D-line. It's very fast, can get outside, get pressure on the run and on the quarterback. So I really see Trayvon Walker winning that Defensive Player of the Year. He's compared to Eric Armstead. I think he can go farther, obviously, than that. But for his size, he has a good burst of speed. But I think him being drafted, I don't know where he's falling because earlier today he's saying he's number one. But obviously, I feel like he's definitely top three. I think we'll go top three on Thursday. So I think Trayvon Walker will win Defensive Rookie of the Year, whatever team he goes to. And this leads into the final question, honestly. Do y'all feel like there'll be any draft day trades, first round at least?
Yeah, for sure.
You do?
There's going to be some.
You have a certain team or just in general?
No, I have teams. The Eagles being one of them. I guess I could see us trading up to 6 or 10, both with the Jets. It just depends on who falls where. I could see us trading up. I could see the Steelers trading up with the Texans to 13 to grab Malik Willis if he falls there, because you got to think they're not going to trade up with the Ravens because they're not jumping a division team and doing that. Like we saw last year that the Eagles traded with the Cowboys to get Devontae Smith, but in doing so, we also jumped the Giants. So that's the only reason that happened. They wouldn't be jumping another division team if they traded with the Ravens. They'd be jumping us. So, and I don't think they trade with us either. I mean, if they do, it would make sense because you're still jumping the Saints, who is the most quarterback needy team in that middle of the round or middle of the first round pack that has picks. I also have an interesting one that the Cowboys would trade up with the Falcons at 8, assuming Kayvon Thibodeau falls to 8. Because there's been rumors that the Cowboys are very interested in trading up for Thibodeau if he falls. And by falls, you have to assume that they're not going to trade with the Giants, obviously. So, and, you know, the first 4 picks isn't really falling for him. So I feel like the Falcons would be the best target for them because the Falcons don't have anything right now aside from Kyle Pitts, pretty much in their entire team at this point. So they're going to need assets for the future.
AJ Terrell had a good year.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, AJ. I forgot about AJ Terrell. But they need assets for the future. So why not trade down? Even though it'll be a big league, it'll be 16 spots. You could probably get 2 first-round picks out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I had the Cowboy trade. I feel like Jerry Jones would want to move up in the draft. I obviously after getting rid of Randy Gregory, definitely getting another Lion, help Micah and DeMarcus would definitely be prominent for them. And obviously on offense, they don't have Cooper, but I don't think they'll draft a wideout. They have CD and Gallup still. So I do agree with the Cowboys one.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
I don't know. I would see there's gonna be some trades. Honestly, I think Steelers trade up.
They have to.
I think they trade up. Who they trade up with? I don't think they do. I don't think they do Commanders. They don't do us. I say either trade up with the Texans or Minnesota. They trade up with one of them. They trade one of them and get a quarterback. Actually, Minnesota. I think Minnesota and then I think they trade Minnesota, not Minnesota. Pittsburgh gets a quarterback. Minnesota their pick goes to 20th. So yeah, but I think that's maybe the Cowboys win as well. Yeah, that's really about it though. That's all the first round trades. I'd say that. But yeah, I think that's about it though.
And one thing I want to add about this year specifically is apparently there's a lot of interest from teams that want to trade down as opposed to trading up. So I think because of that, weirdly enough, we may see a few more trade ups because the price of it is going to be a lot cheaper. Because if every team wants to trade down, you're not going to have to give up as much to trade up. I mean, we could see crazy trades this year where you're jumping into the top 10 from the 20s and it only costs, your first round pick and maybe a third rounder or something crazy. It's going to be dirt cheap to trade up this year. And that's going to lead to more teams saying, we really like this guy. If it's only going to cost us a first and maybe a third or a fourth round pick, let's do it because this team really wants to trade down.
That is tough.
That is true. Yeah, and that's time for us. Thanks again, NFL expert scout. Awesome Slack in the building.
Man.
I already know, man. Happy to be here.
Comments, of course. Leave who y'all favorite team is. Y'all want to draft.
Yep.
There's a lot of teams. I know y'all like the Ravens down there. Football team. I know y'all lurk too. So we'll see where y'all go there. Thanks for tuning in.
Let us know, man.
Back next week.
We will be back next week, and it's going to be the second round. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, real quick. Who is your finals predictions?
Finals predictions.
Hot seat.
Man, hot. Okay, all right. See, before the injury, I would have said the 76ers all the way. That injury is, it's looking like we could witness the first 3-0 loss by a team in a series.
It's possible. It is very possible.
You know what? I think I'm out of the West, I really like the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies have their best matchup right now to counter their play style. You know, you got Pat Bev on Ja. You've got what's it called? Desmond Bane, who's been pretty good defensively. You've got him on Anthony Edwards. And I just think that they beat the Timberwolves here. I know it's 2-2, but they beat the Timberwolves here. I think they can cruise to the finals. And then in the East, like I said, I would have said the Sixers before the injury. I think the Sixers still win this series, but I don't think they'll be able to go all the way solely because of the Embiid injury. And because of that, I think I would say the Heat. The Heat and the Grizzlies.
Oh, my God, bro. That would be the worst finals ever.
Heat Grizzlies, and I'd have the Grizzlies winning in 5.
Oh, okay.
Listen, y'all put me on
going. Bay Area.
What you mean? Who you're going? Your team's out. Your team is done.
Oh,
we're smoking your team's pack after last night.
I'm an OKC fan.
oh, man.
I'm talking about the Warriors, though. That was my pick winning.
Nah.
Man, that is a very, very spicy take, man. We gotta bring you back. For the second round of the playoffs.
About basketball.
All right, that's tough, man. But hey, until then, it's your boys Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.